All right, I'm back. First off, I thought about it while I was walking. Not all. Um, seeing that that's pretty much the basic foundation of everything that has the basic foundation that everything is grown from is music and the harmony of frequencies and vibrations. That means these germs, viruses, microorganisms, and pathogens, they have feelings too, and they ain't all bad. We all be getting eaten up right now. So they must evolve to, like, I couldn't really name it or anything, but they must have evolved over the time as well, and they must be good organisms. They must be good microorganisms because they ain't around killing people, so they must just be out here doing their jobs, bumping with pollen and jumping on radio waves and music waves or something. They got to be doing their jobs in some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Really fucking with us and shit. They're a part of us like we're part of them. And also, how the government, I don't want to say the government, but whatever powers that may be that's out here putting all these bad chemicals in these foods and injecting people with like viruses or pathogens or the bad deeds that they know that they doing, and the government knows that's what's going on, and they know it's bad chemicals in these foods and processed foods and stuff like that. Like those type of people, it's not, I think, or it's not my personal opinion. As a whole, throughout all society and all beings that are alive, versus a group that know that their maintenance of their governance of a general population should be is to govern it to its best ability, should do exactly that. Not what they've been doing since they came to America. And that's be in corruption, to be corrupted. Even if people are dealing with this in another place, somewhere in, somewhere else on this planet or throughout the universe, if these governments know that the FDA is approving BS stuff that we're dying from, the people in the government that knows that elite that even knows of this information and they don't act upon it, and they have the power to take whatever bad those people are doing to society away. Those people need to be locked up. Those people need to be put away and out of office, because you're hurting people, you're hurting organisms, you're hurting living things. You hear about poachers, sex traffickers, all this types of deals, and people don't even move in office. There's wars going on in other countries, and we grow up as kids watching superhero movies and shows and cartoons and places of shows of unities and neighborhoods of communities and stories about our ancestry and ancestry. No, we just learn about our ancestors, and we grow up in, like, with big families. We just came from the '90s. Yeah, people aren't as unified as they used to, but more unified as ever because of the internet. We just need more family and more family oriented things going on like we used to. Like good times at the park and no discriminations. You know, diverse. We diverse right now like a mug, but I just don't see how these governments can just these. They know these things. This causes cancer. They know that we have cures for this, and they're not jumping on it so we can all just get it. You know, it's real crazy, really crazy. You know, people like that know these things should be kicked out of office, or if it's really detrimental to society and you have these facts and you're not doing anything because of other elements that are either getting you paid or you're a part of just to keep us down, need to be killed or put in jail. You know, because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing as a man, as a being, as an official, any of that. But the aliens also taught me not to judge. You know, they taught me not to judge because obviously they don't know what they're doing. Before I continue on with this next subject, but they told me not to judge because they don't know what they're doing. In this part, you can speak clearly to these societies, these secret societies, to these governments that are corrupt through this. They have no idea what they are missing out on when it comes to nature at all. If they're doing all of this, they have no clue. What you gonna get through all this? You really gotta think about it. Like that story I told y'all about that voodoo queen who I met while I was homeless at UCLA and I was talking to them aliens. That sounds really crazy, but it was real. And she was like, they got alchemy, they got this, and they got that. Why in the world would they need to pin y'all against each other to kill one another, you know, psychologically, physically, whatever it may have you, if they have all this knowledge and this power and this ability to create anything they want? Why? The answer is, once you really know the knowledge, the answer is they have no reason. They're nothing but an early stage of our animalistic beings being natural. Once again, just this time, as we're seeing an example of it, it's fading away because it's all it is a wave. All it is just a wave. We keep going back here and seeing how great we were unified and who we really are, and then they'll wave back, and then the bad people way back and be like, y'all really hate each other, and they're really speaking to themselves. They're really trying to find themselves, and we're constantly building on our confidence to be unified and one with nature. And as you see with the plugs in the ear, with the plugs in our ears, with all our tattoos, all the everybody growing up with more tattoos, more flavor, more creativity. And but these corporations, they trying to throw like gray plain preppy plaid shirts your way so you're not creative, or trying to throw dumb cartoons and dumbing down TV shows, and they don't want you to have more opportunities. And every single time we come up as a unit, they find another way to try to break us down. They're finding themselves in us through our fighting for ourselves, as we are being unified to fight them off, so we can never have this problem with beings like this again, who is us and are still a little bit a part of who we are on the inside. We're chauvinistic, we're prideful, we're extremely confident, and sometimes we feel like can't nobody touch us. So we are literally speaking to a smaller part of ourselves that is still out there combating who we really are on the inside, just a small part of us, but who we really are still a little bit on the inside. We sound like those microbioptic, those micro, those micro bioorganisms we're talking about. I was talking about once before. All it is just an evolutionary stage. We're just going back and forth. It's it's very special because you look at bacteria, viruses, pathogens, whatever you may call it, all of them may look the same, but there's billions, zillions of different types of germs and viruses and pathogens and parasites everywhere, just teeming everywhere throughout the whole entire universe. A lot of them more individually than there would be as a specific group of diseases or so forth of microorganisms. They just have to start somewhere, and they start as micro microbiotics, little photons, little not croutons, but little little cells. These are little small people, but they have to go through these parasitic DNA keychains first to wipe themselves off and become a being, a form, through these vibrations and spiritualities and astrologies, these colors, so it can form itself one day, and it'll run over there and it'll become this, and then it'll run back over there, it'll become that, it'll run up, become that, run there, and either die, but then become energy and live through everything around it, and then become everything around it in the vibration that everything around it felt from when it was alive, along when it died, collaborates and makes a new version of it, so in some other type of way it can live or live with something, so it can be formed again in a better light or in a different light that it was missing out on. That's why Kanye West is such a special individual, because of his natural way of to come out of the box. You know, another thing that the aliens taught me was to show more love, not necessarily hate. Yes, you just act naturally, be yourself, and the rest will follow. It's not a thing for us to be a certain way towards that person, but we are in that position because Ye's in that position, because the spirit of the world and the energy of the world all collaborated into this time in which he was in front of this man and said, I want to love you, as a spokesman and representative of the people that supported him in his works as us. But him being an individual led him to this point in his own way, not from our ways, because we supported him, but as microorganisms all look, some of them and a lot of groups do look the same. Because you have a virus like a flu virus, categorized diagnosis, yeah, its diagnosis may be the same. You look under the microscope, everything looks the same, or certain germs, or whatever it may be, or whatever you see, it'll all look the same. But as an individual or frequency, every single last one of those germs or microorganisms are completely different. Every single last one of them are different. Just like you have different races and ethnicities that look the same within their ethnicities, within their ethnic groups, and every single being is different. All black people don't look like Chris Tucker. Every Asian person don't look like Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan. Every white person don't look like Tom Cruise. You know what I'm saying? $1 Million Baby, Slumdog Millionaire. You know what I'm saying? All of them, every single last one of them, don't look the same until you in that group and you're sitting in this neighborhood and you looking around like, I don't look like him. I know I don't. You know, but people passing by, that's all they see. You know what I'm saying? But we're all completely different. So it was justifiable that he will act in the manner that he's always act artistically, and he always found a way to articulate himself in a higher light, or not. It's never a highlight because nobody is higher or better than anybody, but in the light that chose him to be there in the first place, so he could say his piece in only ways that his circle and the people that would understand where he was coming from would actually understand where he would be coming from. You know what I'm saying? I understood all sides of the ball. You know, black, white, gays, Trump, everybody's in that situation. But I'm nowhere near the type of office in which I can speak my point of view in order to settle those scores and mend those wounds that everybody was feeling. You know, obviously the universe wants them to weed that out in a dramatic way so things could copulate better. They can become more compatible in a more in a more in a way that receives more friction so that a learning process could be more exposed rather than probably not saying that's the reason why I'm not there. I'm not saying that. But you know, versus somebody like me sitting down there being like, okay, this is what's going on, this is what's going on, this is what's going on. You can't really look at them like this. You know what I'm saying? If that was the case, then a lot of our elders, not saying this is why a lot of our elders aren't here or speaking upon this, they just know, or a lot of them already know, or a lot of them, or the society, or in this younger generation, don't really know, you know, vice versa, these elders, both parties know that there is a demand for mentorship and leadership between the two, and the youngins can teach us just as much as the elders can. We can all teach each other something, but there wasn't an exact soul or souls there, you know, an appropriated young man or a well-seasoned old man to go down there and be like, this is what it is, and we got to really stop doing this and this and that and the other. What happened was a series of events that was dramatic, in which we all learned from. You know, I don't know why I started that conversation, but oh, the microorganisms and how it compares to actual people, and how we're actually learning through ourselves and our own beings from what we're actually dealing with spiritually, physically, and dimensionally, because we are the people that are actually in descent genetically as the general population, because a small percentage of people that are dealing with demons and in their dimensionalized selves, because of the up profound love that we have for ourselves together as a unit, that they have completely lost, and they are feeding so much for, that they have become obsessed in voyage and envy for who we actually are. So they are trying to be kings and queens and gods over the people that they admire. That's really the truth. They want us to love them so bad and envy them so bad that they hurt us and say that we are not, that we are the have-nots, and we fight each other all the time. But how are they in their circles trustworthy amongst themselves if this is what they do to the world? That means they really don't know how to love each other as much as they say they love each other, because they look at us every day. They think about us every single time they have to maintain this order. They've been dealing with this ever since this happened. So my point is that as viruses and microorganisms all look the same and deal with, you know, the identity of one another through the groups that they identify with, can also have a synchronism, a synchronized mechanism in which they learn through one another through sex. But it's the electricity. I gotta stop looking at myself because I can't even think. I don't even like that stuff. I feel weird. But it is actually the electricity that they share through their beings, because they were made through electricity, and they were made through the magnetism, the attraction of the entire universe in itself. So we all feel each other. And in a way, we all learn these lessons together as one and are dealing with the same issues, whether we know and believe it or not. Because we know these things. I wouldn't be saying these things wouldn't be running through me if there wasn't a feeling in the air that I would be receiving from people that's talking about it throughout the whole entire world. Theoretically and evidently, that is completely true, because germs and viruses, pathogens and flus, parasites all run together. They all do the same thing, whether they are completely identical or not. They are all individuals, but they all have a job, because that is their species, that is their organized state, and that is just what they do. And they do it as well as much as every single organism, cell, molecule, and atom, or Eve does it throughout the whole entire universe, through attraction, magnetically, throughout the universe as nature, transcendently. So that means we can really feel these people, and that's really what they're going through. And we are coming to a turnover stage. This is already the year of the Aquarius. Shout out to my mama, RIP. She was an Aquarius. People didn't get that. Feel me? And this is her year. Aquarius. It's the information age. Completely in line. Is it a coincidence that we are turning over the same time that it is the year of the Aquarius? We only have a small portion of corrupt individuals in the American office and around the world today left for us to dig out, take a spoonful and get out during the age of the Aquarius. Coincidence that we dealing with all this stuff, and this is the year of the Aquarius, and this is what is happening now? Is that a coincidence? This is a cosmic event. That earphones in, he ain't really listening. But this is a real cosmic event that is actually going on. That's true. So since Buster Brown and broke up my video, it means I can continue on. So this is gonna trip you out even more. So I left this note. I usually put this at the bottom of my tags, and then I figured I'd get to them later. But this is crazy, and I want to say this because I just upload them the next day and just throw them away. It's January the 24th, 25th now because it's 12:34 in the morning. Friday, 2019. So I've been visited by aliens for a while. I saw an alien spaceship UFO when I was little. And I was walking home with my mother during a storm. Um, and it was like green. It was like a green. It was like green clouds, like green storm clouds. And I heard footsteps. I don't know where they come from. But I saw one then. I went to camp. I saw some crazy stars. We were sitting outside one day, like the '90s, and we some stars was tripping. It looked like they was talking to my stepfather and stuff. It seems like throughout all time, aliens always. I think I got flip flops on. They've always spoken to us. It seems like the more technology has advanced, though, the more they went in hiding because there's too much evidence. Yo, skipping, I messed up. But it seems like the more technology that we have, the more that they go on hiding because it's more exposure. For some odd reason, I do not know. But like I said, they can be a street light or whatever like that. Um, what was I gonna say? Okay, time progressed on, and there's interviews on Daylight that there's an interview on Vlad TV. I'm a fan of Vlad, and other shows, other radio shows like Breakfast Club, and I love Dallas Fort Worth radio shows. They don't really be up on that like that. They still be talking about it. Nick Cannon's on one right now too. Soldier Boy and stuff. But what is it? It was one of these interviews that Daylight said he was like, I shouldn't even be quoting this because I can just say it from my perspective. But he was like, back in the days, I'm just saying it so there's like a threshold if this ever, if people ever, really catch on to what I'm saying because I really did meet them. I really did learn so much, and this is real knowledge that I'm giving people. And one day it's really gonna hit the fan, and my words are just gonna continue to flow through it, and people gonna be like, "Wow, this dude really was telling the truth. He was really talking to y'all." One day people will listen. Just like I said, there was no age of consent or anything, and this information about food and how you really supposed to be sleeping in nature. I actually had to rush to that video because I had to go do something, but I have so many notes about that. I'm pretty sure I'll get to that anyway. So, um, basically, we're just bigger versions of kids. So basically, there was an interview with on Vlad TV with Daylight, and he goes back in the days. I could vouch for this. Like back in the days, we used to hear music, and I used to be like, from my point of view, I was like, there's no way I can make a song like Nelly. No way, absolutely not. Now I know that we all special and we all have a tune and we can all bust a flow, we can all kill it. But for then, we didn't have social media. One, we knew we would never be able to find an A&R or any type of record company or even come up or find any plateau or platform in which we can actually even practice that or even conjure up the money to have a mic or a recording studio. Now we just go and find a microwave setup studio and put it in the closet or something. But back then it was just you had no avenues. You had no alleyways or anything like that. You had nothing. There was no possible way that you could do it, nor did nor were you even close to these people's level, these niggas level at all. Like not even close. Lyrically, nothing. Like yeah, we was listening to some franchise players. Later on, we got in the South, and MySpace was out, and yeah, that was like I don't know. I think that was 2005, 2006, and what is it? South blew up, but South was the South was extremely talented. Like back in the days, people were talented. Period. Like completely talented. I mean, even sports. Like people was crazy. You had and 1, 2. You talking about Dr. J and eight in the '80s and the '70s and all this stuff, man. Crazy. Like people was stupid talented. Like stupid talented. There was no way you could beat somebody in a rap battle. When you rapped, you rapped. Your lyrics was cold. You rapped, you battled. You sung a girl's draws off of her. Like you wasn't just singing, just skipping rocks and no, you wasn't SpongeBobbing around, but you wasn't doing that. You know what I'm saying? And females were even better back then. Like I know I may have been suppressed as a teen, but you know what I'm saying? Like, no, they were extremely bad, and you had no forms of media takeout. You know what I'm saying? You had to literally run up and talk to them, or you can even run up. You had to be so cold with the way you step and walk. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even no no '80s flow that you was really in your face. It's just you were established as well. I'm just speaking from a black point of view, but just speaking on the cool, we already had the juice. You know what I'm saying? So many realms, but this is adding up to what I'm about to say, anyways. But everybody in their own culture had their own way of doing it. But just man, it was so much more sauce back then because we were higher than the creative artistry that it is today, and we literally had to co-mingle with each other on a personal level. Everybody. So your art was who you were, how you spoke, how you dressed, how you how you presented yourself, and who you were as a whole. So there was no hiding and walking past people or saying I got this online, I got this and this and that and other, and just you wearing whatever because you got that line in your pocket, or you flew over here, you do this, you do that. You still showed up. You still showed up. You still showed up. Yeah, I'm trying to say showed up to blow up. It's some fresh to impress. You still showed up. You just man, you was clean. Like it was not a it was no half stepping with anything. Like some of us didn't have money and stuff. We still couldn't do it, but you still rocked with the best. You still rocked with everybody around you. It was no half stepping. Not the way you spoke. People heard you speaking differently, or not differently, but just completely wrong. Or ill managed or anything. Like you didn't even speak if you didn't have either some flavor or no property to the way you spoke. You know what I'm saying? Like some type of intelligence to a girl that obviously liked intelligence or confidence or something. Like it was just a different wave. Like I said, you didn't rap, you didn't sing, you didn't dance, you didn't get on the court. You dancing was crazy. They do this now in all these videos, but people were in the streets and you were killing it like front eye view and gyms and everything. Everybody was killing it. It was more than just being discovered. If you want to be discovered, you went somewhere to be discovered or something like that. But just in your area on the streets, you was just man, everybody was just so killer with it, and you were your creativity, so you wore it on your shoulders. People knew what you did and who you were, and you had to murder everything that you did or touch, or you weren't completely who you who you uh who you were or who you were trying to be. And if that was what you did, you worked every day at your talent. You did what you did to get noticed or accomplish what you wanted to do because you loved what you did and you like literally would cry for it back in the days. It was like authentic. Like it was thick as wood. Like it was heartfelt. It was real soul. Like real fire. You know what I'm saying? We didn't think like, man, we didn't think we could make songs like Bling Bling, or it may sound like small talk or childish or nothing like that, but everybody was still cold lyrically. You know what I'm saying? And it may seem like, it may seem like Bling Bling was the easy song to make, but we didn't even, I think we didn't have the possibility or the know-how, but they were all, those groups were already hot. It's just to move past that. It was a completely different atmosphere. It's like everybody was still killing it in their own way. So when people came out and you heard the catchy tune of a sound like Bling Bling, you know what I'm saying? Man, it just, you couldn't come up with that, or just songs like R&B music. There's no way you was killing somebody off the mic that didn't sound that show didn't sound bad in the on the track singing, but was literally getting girls wet. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like, let alone busting hard ass flows, having crews behind you, and niggas killing the stage and got the whole club rocking, like the whole stage at wherever they was rocking, man. Like you saw it and you knew you couldn't do this shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you knew you could because you was motivated, but it was so hard to be that great back in the days. And they was following up on the greats, and they were just being themselves, going harder than everybody else. As everybody was still going hard, like you could not half step because everybody, like it's not like how it is now. Everybody was hard. Everybody had their stuff, and you weren't just walking around with no limp going on. You wasn't just nobody. Like, nor was anybody checking for you, because back in the days everybody minded their business. But what kept you going as an individual, as everybody was minding their business, getting girls, getting money, creating art, doing them, it was like everybody's joy came from their creativity before the internet really blew up. So everybody was hard. So if you didn't have anything, you sometimes people turn like goth because they were like, they didn't know what they wanted or something, but that became their creativity or poetic, and they just found other avenues and stuff. Sooner or later they became like entrepreneurs. It just took time for them. You know what I'm saying? But that's not my point that I'm going through. I'm just saying, your creativity is really important, and you gotta really look out for that, because that's what makes you. That's how you have sex with the universe, is you creating, using your imagination. It's how you attract things. My point was on something else, but you know, um, so I don't really know how to say this, but this is really important that I say. So you know how they say that the cipher, people rapping and stuff, came from the Egyptians. Now I know storytelling has been in our societies since it probably began. Before we even had languages, we had pictures and storytelling, and arithmetic, rhythmic motions, and you know, all types of deals like that. So this moving forward, it seems to be understood that all these pyramids and architecture has been made through the levitation of musical items and the sounds of our voices by using our chakras of vibrations in a meditative state. Now, from us being that intellectual, that creative, and that understanding of how the universe works and how we were able to use the universe to build these monuments puts me in a state of thought of why they wouldn't want black people. And like I said, we all family and we're all unified and we're all capable. Travis Scott, Yellow Wolf, Eminem, um, Mac Miller, Logic, J. Cole's mix. But how, if that is true, and we were griots in West Africa of Benin, in which we salute Lil Wayne, Tupac, and Jay-Z of being of, which is people of black descent that are able to go off the dome, Kendrick Lamar and others, the cipher in which we got from the Egyptians, but cipher is really uh, a connotation from the way we use our language to flow as the snake does. It's also another representation of our pineal gland to flow harmoniously with the universe cipher. You spitting vapor, snakes. You ill with it, illy. Sounds like a slither, ciphering. If these niggas is that cold and they want us to rap stupidly, and we are the foundative beings of this universe, and we are in harmony with the universe, then seriously, really, your word, your vibration, your frequency is bond to the elements around you, and you actually have an effect on it. Not only that, if they're trying this hard to keep us away from science, as these gangsteristic, heavy-headed, hard creatives, hard over expressively creatives, Jaden Smith, Kanye West, J. Cole, Big Crit, these decisive manhandlers, T.I., Jay-Z, all these people that's really picking and choosing, moving through the shadows. Young Jeezy, real niggas see it. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff we done been through also entails that it's just made us stronger. People, they think we black people not keeping up with what's going on. Man, we seeing everything. We just running these battles because we want to be free and we love everybody. We want everybody else to be free, and we really want to see the real once again. We don't know what happened. I mean, we got a pretty good idea, but We don't want that type of deal to happen again. It was a mistake, and obviously, these are the wrong people that 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 the world will want in charge at all. Governance really means beings that tender to the earth. That's really what it means, and these people are doing the opposite. We want to continue to be the governors of this planet and the universe. We want to continue to do these things, and not only us, but we want to help other naturistic beings do the same thing. We want to continue to govern the universe, these planets. So this is the point I really need to get over. I know people watch this and they just skim through it and stuff like this. This is really important, that what I'm about to say. If that's true about the frequencies that come out your mouth is bond to the universe, your rishas and chakras, your portals and vortexes made you symmetrically align with the universe, and what you feel and say, do, eat, smell, shit, whatever, excuse me, is in line with the universe, and you are able to create, imagine, and manufacture things based upon this, and you spitting like this, you got these rhymes like this, you are the foundation. Even though we are all equal and these people come from us and they have evolved from us, we still continue to grow as carbonated black beings of founding fathers and mothers of the universe, and other places and other sectors and other quasars and other dimensions. They might be other different forms, but it's light and day, black and white. You know, everything is within those two forms. It's white, light, and complete darkness. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Without darkness be no light. But it's not an argument. I've had the argument before. You know, there is a parallel lecies, but there will be completely white beings in a completely alternate universe, and it will be just as much as understanding as it is here. Not saying that we're better than anybody. I'm just saying the real. And this is our element. This is what I'm saying. If you are spitting like this, if you are this intelligent, this educated, and have these type of flows leading back to these monuments and architecture, this is the point of this whole entire video. If you are capable, and this is your element, Kendrick Lamar, if this is your element, they spoke of these ciphers and tell these stories because it is in your DNA. If this is what you do, imagine if you had the sciences, the science in which they are trying to keep from us, which is semantics, which is kineticism, which is um, acoustics, acoustic science, the vibration and frequencies of the universe used as tools. This goes for absolutely everybody in existence. But I'm talking to these rappers out here that are able to spit, and your element is to flow, to be in harmony with frequencies. You using words, English words. But if we've evolved from these African beings, from a status in which we have forgotten, in which they were in constant cipher, in constant ether, and that's just how they lived because they were taught this, and this is just how they spoke amongst one another through the cipher, because it was not only intelligent and more efficient to learn this way, but to be in constant behavior, to self-regulate its teachings, thus emitting a constant culture, which would be in cult, which would which would be known, which would be furthermore known as the word cultivation. Be in constant cultivation of the element which is life. You will be in transcendence, in a euphoric animation through your imagination and creativity. Your whole culture will be completely hip hop. Will be a full on agriculture and complete cultivation. Now that is the life that they lived, and they accomplished phenomenal feats from it. It's too much. It's too much there to predict otherwise. Now, we came from those beings. Apparently, it's the same envy that we're going against today, and that has to be another reason why we were fought to be taken down, because of that error in our lives. But that means our genes has already taken that information, and we have grown and evolutionized from that. They cut us off from that, but we still kept it and came over here and recalibrated it as we continue to elevate from our lost knowledge that some of our brothers and sisters are still going through today, but starting to catch up as technology speeds up. Everybody's getting hip and cool and down with the culture now, because now everything's getting sped back up. They're not going through a transitional phase. They're actually flowing into the cipher in which we already have dealt with. It's not necessarily a complete transition, because everybody's catching on. They're getting it so fast, too fast. Everybody's not learning to say what this new thing is. Everybody's like, yo, we're familiar with this, we're feeling this sound, and I know that we have to go through a transition, but to even get to hip hop, but rhyming, there's no way that we would be so absent to what a rhyme actually is, when rhyme is nothing but a fizz. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have made that go together, but it's my pleasure. What you're really going through is a tone. It's a ding, and then you hear the same ding from two words that have a similar tone in its through its pronunciation, that 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 is in correlation to an articulation of an ultimate point. And it's like the beginning of your sentence. It's like the beginning of your sentence is the ending of the tail of a snake, and you flowing to the mouth and you spitting hot fire. And once you get out of that mouth, you see the viper's mouth, and you get the whole point. That was real cool. That was real cool looking. Like, it was tight. You know what I'm saying? And you use this elevation to hold yourself up to create this big picture. You know what I'm saying? That's not a completely, you know, there's just part of the element in which, from my perception is which how you would describe a cipher through, speaking the language and, you know, rhyming and so forth, because you can get different colors on a snake, and you can you see, there's scales, and the snake might be the same color, but you're starting with your starting point, which is the tail, the smaller point, and then you get up higher to the head and the brain, and you get the whole picture from that. It's like, a bomb, first you hit it, or a tree, then you go up to the top and it's boom. That's another rhyme too, because bombs look the same, and then you go to the top and they spread out at the top, and got the root of the bomb that hit the ground, and something like that. But real talk, you gotta really understand that. You gotta really understand how tones are working, frequencies and vibrations. This is another reason why we will get out the rut that we're in. I'm not gonna lose my spot, but because we keep hearing hate and keep on hearing lies, it's just the same tone as we have in children. Our parasitic bodies and the keys to our DNA is just creating answers. The universe is hearing, nature is hearing it, and all this energy is going into our embryos and our bodies, and we're hearing it. We're finding out these answers, and they're just going to continue to get weeded out by nature. It's the law of life. It's the circle of life. You know what I'm saying? It always happened, and those are just tones, familiar tones. And the reason why I said this, and I'm backtracking so I can get back to where I was completely, I got 2 more points. So basically, these rhymes ain't even got to be in English. They don't even have to be made in English. We can just be telling stories or rhyming from any language throughout our language, and people will understand it, and they'll just vibe with it as long as you're on tone and beat and be in harmony with it. You could be a rhymer, or an artist or something like that. Just as who you are, you can be abstract, and no one's the same. You ain't got to necessarily be on beat. So I can't necessarily make no rules, because you ain't really no rules, but if this is a particular tone, and what you're setting up, others can articulate better than others when it comes to it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta flow and adapt as times and things change as you go along. You speak about it. So so what you gotta understand is that even though we went through all that stuff through these times, these 80s, 70s, 60s, and whatnot, people were already rhyming then. They were rhyming before then, and even before then, they called it the cipher. They called it a cipher. Niggas was flowing and going hard, making buildings out of rapping, out of busting flows, going hard in a culture in which they taught each other through the artistry of wordplay and sounds and frequencies and wordplay that all had a junction to points. Where that's where these scriptures come from. These Bible scriptures. They formulated words and sentences that made up points, and they were so articulate that they could literally put scientific information, bump hiding it, but they could deliberately put enhancing, enlightening scientific information in flows of scriptures as long as you will want them in verses. You kidding me? That is what they did. So you got to see what we're actually dealing with today. when people be like, oh, you need to speak upon more things that are uplifting and more intelligence and stuff like that, because there's so much to know out here. It's so much that we have to gain from out here. So many things that you can be putting in your words. Crazy. It is crazy. And that's literally what they did. So every single time you read it, you saw these stories, you looked at a picture, it enlightened you. It did something else to you. Another 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 junction to that would be, people would call it like sorcery when they would see like a black dot or a certain picture or some type of abstract. They'd be like, oh, this is sorcery because it's gonna make me feel a certain way. People were that artistic back in those days. And stories, you got stories out the womb about that they're trying to make you forget. You got to realize what age that we're in, that our great grandparents are dying, so a lot of these stories are dying with them, and they're coming up with this technology and this misinformation to combat this information that's coming out that we're all bringing to the light, just so we will forget it with our past loved ones that are leaving us and keeping us in check. But now, since this technology is raising us, they're trying to get a backhand with these buttons because of our real relationships with real things that we're fading away from, but coming forth too, because we're all recycling, we're all trying to get it up, and we all love one another more than we ever have. But they trying to keep still pushing these buttons with these technological devices and stuff, because people can't get away now. They got people watching blocks on TV and stuff, huh? Crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? People believing that they don't want they don't even want children anymore. Like, where they do that at? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But that brings us back to my next point about how these people, I didn't even say why these people don't even know, you know, what they're really missing out on in nature. I made some other points, but let me finish this in this nature. People missing out on nature. I can't forget that. So there's buku information about that. So you take that and you run over here, all this past misinformation, all this stuff they say, oh, just fable and stuff like that. Science and magic, that's equal. That's the same playing field. You can make whatever you want, because everything is made out of light and frequency. That means once you figured it out, that pentagon, that pentagram and stuff that makes light, the frequency and what's not. Once you understand alchemy, you can do magical things. You can work the sciences, the articulation of the manufacture of physical mind, the universe. You and I verse, yo, be serious. Like, come on now. Now, now check it. So all this information, and then they made you forget to talk about his fable and stuff. But you get back here, and we've all received that information. We went through all that trial and error, and we received that information. They try to make us forget, and then dumb us down even more. So all this information is really suppressed. So we're really doing or acting out creatively in a suppressed way from what we used to be. And we're steady regaining those life forms until we get it all back, and we'll be moving forward. But all this stuff is just making us stronger. So that means we all are fighters, because we all come from DNA that had to fight to have sex to well, not fight to have sex, but has lived this long and went through so much. So if you're alive today to even deal with the information that's going on, that means your genes is pretty good. It means you did a pretty gosh darn job just to get here. You know what I'm saying? That means you got some type of flavor that got you here, no matter who you are, what you did, and what's going on in your life. That means that nigga is some type of the business. All right? You know what I'm saying? So let me cut that, because I want to say this. And then I'm going to go back to that. And it's going to be an important word. So what people don't know that they missing out on, these people, I understand that I said love, and I did close that out. Yo, if you're a bad person, you corrupt, you watching this, whatever, stuff like that, do you not realize that in nature, you don't need anything. You know what I'm saying? You can build your own house. It just got to be. You can build everything. You can even have technology or whatever. It just got to be biometrically compatible with your surroundings, so it doesn't break down. It satisfies you in a way that you need it to be satisfactory towards your needs. You can make whatever. You can make a phone, all that stuff through nature. You can do all that stuff. It ain't nothing but a frequency, electronic frequency, and a compatible box. It's nothing. This is nature. The phone, the laptop, whatever. Do you not realize if you're a man or a woman, you can have all the men you want. You can have all the children you want. You can, as a man, you can have all the women you want. I'm just saying the things that they're holding you back from. People be like, the women's talking about, oh, I ain't feeling this. Yeah. Your main job is to be a woman, to have your main job as a woman is to have children, to and to embark on nature's creations and care for them and love. That's 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 completely invested in the creator and your creations of him, which would be you and more use. That means you are less beyond it. Let's be on it. Let's not lesbian. Let's be on it. Like, if you're a woman, the word lesbian, it means a woman that's attracting another woman that wants to continue to expand the universe. Mankind and all its creations. You want to attract each other because it makes a higher attraction for a lot of men, or even more men. Let's beyond it. Let's make this bigger. Men love the mess out of women. You know what I'm saying? Gay means happy. You want to see more creation. You want to see more color. More men. Ain't no women around. We finna create some stuff. Yes, your penis is an electrical rod, and the sperm inside of your penis is psychedelic. And the aliens taught me. I ain't saying that, but biologically, male and females has mouths. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with it, but if you look at it, protein. It is a psychedelic. It has embryos, and it's ingestible, and it's nutritious and stuff. But I ain't doing that. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just putting it out there that it's real, and people are supposed to be doing this since birth, as well as milk and sperm from a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's a ride, and it is what it is. So, what it is. So you have more creation through that, and from that, and why it looks like a penis, uh, an erected penis or a flaccid penis, and with the V on it, and so it'd be like gave. So you look at it, the word would be gave, and gave, and it'd be gave, which would be as more as we are happy, we're giving the woman more, and she's being less beyond it. That means she's expanding the universe more room for you guys to be intimate, and you guys will continue to be as one. You know, you guys will make more love. So you gotta check the wordplay. So check this out. If you're evil, bad, or corrupted, why in the world would you not want infinite women? Literally, what would they be promising you? Why would you not want all the food in the world? Why would you want all the creativity that you can possibly have? Why wouldn't you want, what else is there? Like, you can create everything that you want from the universe from scratch. You have the knowledge of everything. That's why we know that that stuff that went on in Egypt or Africa, all that BS that they did with all these native people in the native lands and whatever beef we be having with that we're in cahoots with is really some BS. You know, no matter what spectrum that they try to put us on, no matter what being or entity that we may be going against. You know what I'm saying? The aliens also taught me, they was like, yo, if we ever beef, what are you supposed to do? No matter, even if I am telekinetically taking control of you, whatever stuff like that, what do you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? What do you need to do? What are we teaching you right now? Them niggas was like, hey, kill my ass. They was like, fuck me up. Take away the key. They was like, they was dead ass. They was for real. They was like, hey, we teaching you the laws of natures, murder is natural, all types of shit, all types of deals. They were like, straight up, if that ever happened and we ever turned on you as alien beings, just know it is the law of nature. There is always a bigger fish. There is everybody's equal. We're all harmonized. We all go through a transition. We all go through evolution. If that ever happened, this is why we're teaching you about biokineticism. This is why we're teaching you about biotech. This is why we're teaching you about sorcery. This is why we're teaching you you are one with the universe and use science to combat everything that you go against, even guns, because guns ain't nothing but a high velocity propelled weapon, propelled rock weapon, which ain't nothing compared to real science. They was like, if we ever go against you like that, you mob on us. You find out the sciences or whatever you need to, and you mob on us. You go against us. They was telling me that, making me look like a fly around there, but giving me respect for all that stuff. But they was still telling me that. They was like, yo, that is what you do. That is what you do. But I'm just saying that because it goes for everybody. You know, we got enough room in the universe, damn our galaxy, on this planet for everybody, for anything. You know what I'm saying? Why would you want it if even the aliens, their main thing was like, let's not fight because they've been through the processes of their species. So they was down here like, you know, I'm just enjoying life. I'm just having sex. Yeah, we still doing our job in the military and whatnot, but everybody got here through sex, and I really enjoy it. So they did their own wave of sex, and they go through the Kundalini, and they spit their whole bill. You know what I'm saying? It's not even a thing to them. They're like, I don't know what y'all doing, but like literally to get them to stop talking to me sometimes telekinetically, they make me watch like booty videos on YouTube because they were like, oh, you over here running over here with the 9 to 5, you trying to blow up as a rapper, you trying to get all this material to build science, and you trying to talk to this girl and stuff, but they would be so natural. They're supernatural beings. So like literally on their planet, they'll just run up just like how we used to do back in the day, just run up and just fornicate because it's completely natural with anything that's ready to fornicate. You know what I'm saying? You know, they taught me that every plant has flowers, every flower produces a fruit. And they were talking about girls. So they were talking about girls and women. They were like, yo, as soon as that chick got a flower and producing fruit, you hit that. You know what I'm saying? Bump laws and stuff, all that. They was dead ass, and by nature. That's what nature does, and that's really what it is. But they told me, you know, stop shitting in the woods and all that stuff and stop bumping in the jungle. Better go use the restroom. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you ain't gonna have all the food that you need to have. So you gotta go eat, you know, at the store or something and take some stuff that's probably gonna kill you in a way. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta do what you can. They taught me that I'm supposed to be eating that I'm able to eat everything, that I'm able to withhold my animalistic nature, and I'm able to teach myself in different ways so I can combat certain things until the time is right. We're all able to do these things. You know, we're all teachable, but you know, we're all smart and extremely intelligent organisms that have to learn anyway. So we all are teachable and we all can learn, but we will always be a part of nature, and nature is the best solution for us because it accommodates for everything that we need. So, check it. So, so speaking to, you know, whoever that may be, they have no reason. They have there's nothing but the spite. and the envy of you being their God. Literally. That's their only problem. They mad at you. That is their only problem because they got everything they need. And at this point, this day and age, these niggas know that true and well. They just mad at people now. Shit. Home alone and shit. So, going back past this shit, right? If we a cipher and we going through all this stuff and we all musically inclined, Linkin Park, Miley Cyrus, all these white people, all these different native lands and people rapping, Rich the Kid and Star Wars and all the maybes and stuff. Yo, all these rap groups, all these rock groups, just everybody around the world. Yo, if our ancestors if they literally made architecture out of music, the harmony of music. These niggas wasn't just boom, and that hoe was just floating around. I'm using the car as music for the floating cup, just improvising. But if they were using music, not just a dong on some chime, or using a harp just to flow some they was using music, and they were articulating information like that, and they was using music to build these amazing structures. Do you not know, if we knew that we can use science to our advantage in collaboration with our music? I'm talking to rappers, everybody. Do you not know what we could be creating with our frequencies in its physicality, in your reality? Literally hop on the mic and you building with blocks with a 3D printer. It ain't got to be a 3D printer, just something far more advanced than that. And it's literally being built in front of your eyes because you rapping on the mic. Cypher. Because you drumming on a drum, your heart from your drum that you beating is actually building cars or something. Imagine your imagination doing that through science. That is what these niggas did. That's what they did. They used music in harmony to build monuments that pointed to the stars. Crazy. And then niggas contact the aliens. We got invading. Fuck that. Now I'm playing. Something had to happen. Them niggas had to leave, or they was gonna come back. We being watched, or they just trying to see if we're gonna really do it again, or whatever it may be. But it ain't all go down like it went down like that, because niggas is too strong, and that's not how our genes work. That is not how our genes work at all. You know, I don't know what's called Kimasaki or the nuclear explosion, just all that stuff. Like, it's even we still got replicas of ourselves outside in the universe and stuff like that. It's still, even if we were to blow up, our energy goes and we reincarnate and we come back. You know what I'm saying? It's more articulated and more complex than we actually believe, that we just get shut out and die and we never come back, or even people even see their faces again. You know what I'm saying? That's completely untrue. You know what I'm saying? But it's getting cold out here. It's about 1:30. It's an hour and 18-minute video. That's exactly what I wanted to say. Imagine what you can do if you knew about the sciences and the harmony of the universe, and you put that together, and you could have built this tunnel, this little bridge behind me, with what came from your heart. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just selling it off for a few bucks and stuff like that. Also, the infinity comes from the infinity of nature, not dollar bills, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I can delete that. And the dollar is really what's keeping us apart. Without that, you can have as many kids you want. You can have as much creativity as you want, whatever you may be. So the bill is not really politics, or you want more money, or better education, or nothing. It's like, Nothing like that. The veil and the illusion is really that you want cash and not land and not nature. Because nature is infinite throughout the whole entire universe. Money is just an idea. Money is stopping you from having more kids, having more food, having more science. Without money, you got absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. Look at what's going on today. They're taking our agriculture and selling it back to us like we ain't never seen it before. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, nigga, that's tight. Nigga, where that's from? It's from damn, it's from Africa. Damn, nigga. How much that is? About $2,000. It's like my auntie is from Kenya, and they make that out of stone rocks next to the elephant pit or whatever, and they're like, well, it's $400, nigga. You want to buy it or not? I'm like, ain't this bitch? You know what I'm saying? Like that, it'd be the most expensive thing. Is stuff that they selling back to us from our native lands. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But you know, getting tattoos, money. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff gonna waste away. We just used our creativity. These shops, all this stuff, these factories and stuff, just manufacturing what we want to be creative from. That's it. It comes from our heart. We need to get back to nature. Get rid of this dollar, yo. All this stuff. Because all we need is each other. Thank you. Beep. All right. Sorry. Captain's log.